So this is Aces in the Can, inspired by my friend Sean in saying you can take that routine further. Lovely. So deck starts out shuffled and impromptu. I have a spectator. I asked the spectator, what would you like? It doesn't have to be aces, so jacks, queens, or kings, and they say kings. So let's go into it. Hopefully I can get this in frame. So first one is the king of diamonds. Okay. Usually referred to as woman's best friend. Second one is the king of clubs. The third one is the king of hearts. Okay, hopefully. I'm trying to keep it out of the lights from being too shiny. And the last one is the king of spades near the top, so I'm going to actually put it a little bit more downwards to be a little more fair. So king of spades. Okay. And so I'm going to actually have a spectator. I'd say to a spectator, okay, you suggested kings, and I also need you to select a card as well. So I'm going to go across the cards. You just tell me whenever you like when to stop, okay? And so they say stop, okay? Now I ask them the question, do you want to change your mind, or do you like the mind you have? And after much banter and laughter, they said they'll keep the mind they have. So I say, okay, good. So they have their card, and I will look away as I show the card to the audience, okay? I'm looking away. Okay, and then I would say, and also you could toss the card back, somewhere around the center. They do, so I'd leave it sticking out, showing to them, there's your card, okay? And we lose it inside the pack, okay? And I ask them, do you want to do a shuffle, or should we do a shuffle, rather? And they say, yeah, let's do a shuffle, okay? And there we go. So there you go. And I would mention to them, because it's just funny, and just in general, it's funny how much control a magician has over the deck of cards just by holding it, or by any action or means. For example, believe it or not, your card is second from the bottom of the deck, and that's crazy, right? That's the first thing. That's the crazy part. Not only that, they would know it's the king of spades. That gets even crazier to think about it. It's like, there's no way you would have that much control. I mean, maybe you got my card, but no way. I mean, look, bottom card is nine of diamonds. First one. Second one is the king of spades, as predicted. And then the last card is third card is the three of clubs. So it really did nail it right there. Pretty awesome. But then magicians would never tell it to you right away. They want to make a little more mystery. So they shuffle the cards, they would misdirect in whatever way they can, and they would want to continue the fun for as long as possible, leading you down that garden path, per se. So they would take a couple guesses. They said, can I have a couple guesses? They would show you a card that isn't it, four of hearts. Oh, like last trick. Funny. And then I would give it a wave. They would give a wave, and they can change it to a different card, like the six of diamonds, and they would ask you, is that your card? They go, no. And so then they would finally ask, okay, what was your card? Was it amongst there? And you would answer, yes, it was the king of spades amongst the middle. And they go, that is correct. Which is crazy. And it gets even crazier, and then the spectator can do this themselves. Turning over the king of hearts, the king of clubs, king of diamonds, all four kings. Like that. Pretty crazy, isn't it? And that's what I call Aces in the Can. A wonderful, wonderful effect that I want to dive deeper into with credits, how to do it and everything. But before that, for the Academy's sake, if you can leave a like, that'll be awesome. We really appreciate it. And now we'll jump into the explanation of how to do this amazing, wonderful feat, which is more of an intermediate card effect. So to go into it and trying to keep it within one take, it starts out with control or not control, impromptu or not impromptu, depending. So first, quick history, please. Real fast, quick history. It was based on Dunsbury's illusion. 3 cards right here. Oops. 3 cards right here, and then the wrong card. What people guess is the wrong card turns into the right card, and what they saw was right here jumps to over here, and then they see 3 random cards here. That was the normal effect. And I included it with the aces in a really fun manner. It still seems like a Dunsbury delusion, so it's cool. So thank you, Shantrin, for inspiring me in that, and Eddie Fector for modernizing it from the Charlie Miller version. So how to do this? If you're doing the impromptu version, then you're going to need to know how to cull, and by culling, I would always suggest the Roadrunner cull by Kotsia Kimlan. But Danny, you should teach the cull. No, I have respect for Kotsia. Kotsia's amazing. Order online. It's like 40-ish bucks. You can find, I don't know where you find it. Vanishing Magic, I think, now sells it. Maybe. You could get directly from Kotsia Kimlan's website. Roadrunner Cole, amazing slide. He nearly got Penn to throw a chair at him because it was that amazing. So enough ranting about that. You need the Cole for the beginning, so you can freely ask him jacks, queens, kings, aces, whatever they like, and then you can spread them as you show it to them and talk to them as you call the cards or selections to the top. So let's say they say queens, queen of hearts. You just can openly mention it. Queen of diamonds. Okay, that's number 2. Queen of spades, and you can. It's so fun. You can do this so openly in front of them. And then the last queen. Where was the last queen? Hold on. Did I miss one queen? Oh, let me cut it more towards the center because it's too close to the top. And the last queen, queen of clubs. Okay. And then from there, you would have control over all 4 queens in a fair open manner. If you want to make it more, less down a garden path, then you can shuffle right after. But boom, you've got the 4 stack on top to begin the trick. And that's if you want to do it impromptu using the cull. It's a great slide. Though if you want to just go into the trick without having to do the cull, then I would suggest just having a 4 of a kind on top. If you want to do aces, jacks, queens, kings. It's usually queens, kings, or aces. That's preferable. But if you're doing impromptu, you get the 4th choice, and you get to be very free about it, which is lovely and nice. And it's a great, the real effect is being able to have them freely name one, and then right after, let me just use the aces for this context. I'm just going to just quickly go through instead of being secret about it. Here we go. The freedom of it, and you can even ask them as they're going along which one's their favorite, and then you would first cut that area to the back, near the back, so that you can cull that one last, and that one would be on top. So let's say an example. This is a fun idea. So you can literally force them the card they mention they're thinking of, which is a cool idea. So let's say their favorite card is the ace of spades. So let's say they say aces. Okay, let me first insert this in here. And I'm going to shuffle it up. So we're going to have a fun little jam session. Okay. I have no idea where these cards are going. Okay. Oh, well, we know where one is at. And one more. Okay. So I ask them, what's your favorite 4 of a kind? They say aces. I go, cool. Do you have a favorite of those? And they go, ace of spades. I'm like, okay, that is very cool. Actually, I want to show you all 4 aces for this effect. Okay, and during that casual banter, I cut the ace of spades to be the last one and near the top. So when I cull it, so I say, oh yeah, let me show them to you. Ace of clubs, and you're culling aces. As you're casually displaying them, ace of diamonds, okay, ace of hearts, okay, and last one being the ace of spades. Oh, it's near the top. I do this little ruse where I say, okay, I'll put it further down. I want to be fair, okay, and they go, yeah, and then I just cull it out. It's so hilarious. And then I call it, and there you go. Oh, should be fair. You saw the cards. Okay, we'll shuffle them. Doesn't change anything. So we have done all those parts, and now I say, okay, and no breaks. We do the rollover force, my favorite force. And I say to him, no, I want to be absolutely fair. It's for magicians, that's fun. I say, hey, tell me when to stop. Stop right there. Okay. I ask him a fun question. Do you want to change your mind, or do you like the mind you have? Alternatively, you can say, right there. Do you want to go further? Do you want to go back? Do you want to stop right there? They say stop right there. That's an alternative one. But I say, do you want to change your mind? Do you like the mind you have? And they go, I like the mind I have. And I go, oh yes. And it's during that laughter and banter thing that I do the force, which is after they say stop, I roll down to the fingers and then roll it on over and then go forward casually with the card during the laughter, and I select a card, and then I set the cards. I should not be doing it this way backwards. I just drop it on top. And it seems so fair. Like, no one really notices that, you know, it's going right off the top. I'm forcing her off the top. And then they peek their ace of spades, and everyone laughs. So it's like a laugh into another laugh. It's just like constant laughter. And it's just fun. Which is why it's probably my, I don't want to say favorite trick right now, but it's pretty dang near it. Anyways. So we got the card. We show it. And again, we got the other three aces still on top. Okay? And so then we have the card returned. You could leave it placing it out. But what I like to do, because with culling methods, and you will need to control this card to second from the bottom. So one thing you can do is, if you're doing the cull, I have to the reason being I need to alternate the method if you don't cull. So you can just actually leave it spread out. Say toss it somewhere towards the middle. They toss it about here. I show it again. And it's a little thing. You don't want these aces being spread out and flashing right here. You don't want to flash those. So I tend to push them a little bit back so you can't see them. Okay? Anyway, so I show it to them. And then I call their card to second from the bottom. Boom. Now, in the case that you're saying, but I don't cull, how would I do this? There is an alternative way. The alternative way would be to get a break underneath the bottom card while they're peeking it, they're laughing, whatever, and you say, at no point do you tell me the name of your card. We want to leave it a mystery. Okay? And they're like, oh, okay. And it seems like you actually don't know. But it's funny. They ask for aces. They ask specifically for the ace of spades. Do you force it on them? They're laughing. Great. There's still misdirection time. Get a break below the bottom card, whether you peel it, whether you riffle off, get the break, whether you do buckle, whatever. We get the card, and then we swing cut, and then we add this bottom random card to the rest of the stack. I'm trying to invent the method on the moment just so we can make it work for those who don't cull. Yeah, we would add the card. And then we would riff off again, like how we got the card selected, and then we'll just lift off and say, you know what? Or you can do a dribble, like a dribble force. Here, toss back here. Either way, so either riffle off, or maybe you spread. You can do a spread and then show this card again. But here's the thing on how to control it to second from the bottom easier. I finally figured out a good idea, like mathematically 400 IQ calculating the method. As we would have the card placed back, dribbles, card spread, or just riffle off, we've added the random card to the bottom on top of the three aces. Okay, we've shown the card twice. As we're showing this card, we're also pushing off a little bit to get the next card. As we're showing this card again, we're also pushing off a little bit for the next card, the card above the aces. We're going to break below that indifferent card that's above the aces. So we got a break below two cards, yes, in this case. And then we pull it back on top. We square all the cards, and then we would we could actually there's a couple things we can do. We can just do a double cut. We just cut at that break because we would have the random card. Then the ace of spades selection we forced right there. Okay, let me readjust my leg. I've been sitting on too long. It's going numb. Bad idea. And then we would just simply cut it and complete, and then we're back to position. There we go. There we go. And alternatively, let me see if I can do it this way. Yeah, the more classic way magicians tend to do it is with this fancy cut using the swing cut. So we got the break. Now we swing cut off the upper packet that's from the lower half. Or the upper half that's currently upper half. We'd swing cut off upper packet, and then we would take the lower packet and drop it onto the pack. And then we would drop the same packet on top, which does nothing. It's just like it's putting it back in its place. So we do this. This is the action. Swing cutting the packet on top, taking this next packet and put it on top. Still same thing. Nothing's happened. It's funny. You can try it all the time. It's fun. So again, swing, cut off the packet, drop this packet on the table, and drop my packet. Okay? So one last time. Got a break. Swing, cut off the upper packet over to the dominant hand. We drop the other packet from the recessive hand. Drop the other packet, and then drop everything else on top. That's how I would normally do it if I was to do it without the cull, but I heavily rely on the cull for my work. Secret! So there you go. If you don't do it, or if you just want to do a double cut, and then you could lead into a shuffle. Making sure you retain the bottom 2 cards and the upper 3 cards in the same exact order. So I riff off a couple cards, so I don't have to worry about those bottom 2. Shuffle, and make sure I finish the shuffle on the other side before it hits the 3 cards that are the aces. Okay. So covering all my bases, we've got the card second from the bottom. Okay. And we got the aces still at the back. So I mentioned to them, I would first, after doing that, however you go about it, maybe a shuffle, no shuffle, I set the cards on the table for a second. I mentioned it's amazing how much control a entertainer can have just being able to touch the card for just a couple seconds. For example, and because you know the force card, being the top card, or the last Jack, Queen, or King, Ace you saw, it's the force card because of the riffle. I mentioned to them openly, it's amazing how much control they can have. For example, your card is the Ace of Spades, and then they freak out. Pretty crazy, huh? What's even crazier is how we can control it. For in this case, or in this example, it is currently second from the bottom of the deck. And they go, no way. Yeah, no, really. It's crazy. And as I'm being casual about it, I now riffle off 3 cards from the bottom. However you want to go about it, maybe you can do a buckle from the corner right here, push, and then get that. But I got 3 cards right here, and I go, yeah. And so now we're going to do the 5th peel with the Visor Switch combo. Credit to John Bannon and Edward Marlowe for that. And then we're going to, so we got to break on 3 cards, which we're going to take off with the 3 of clubs. So we're going to take these 3 cards stacked from the bottom we riffled off and got to break underneath with 3 clubs, and we take it like this and we do an open display like so. And having the cards peeled and everything, having this open display, no one sees anything aside from the 3 of clubs, which is crazy considering we got 3 cards right behind it. Pretty crazy. So I keep it in just a quick motion. Okay, I mean the first card is the 3 of clubs, and I use my 4-finger square so everything seems copacetic. And because I'm pulling back, it makes the less tendency to do any flash. I show the first card, 3 of clubs, and because of the larger action is covering the smaller action, or just the motions covering the flash, I add it underneath, and I leave the 3 of clubs underneath as I take off the Ace of Spades. Okay. So, again, breaking the 3 cards, pulling off the 3 clubs, the bottom card, okay, showing it, said 3 clubs is the first one, leave the 3 of clubs, I got to break underneath it and left it on the top, what is the top of the pack, this is the bottom. I then take the Ace of Spades, I display it, here's the Ace of Spades, the second one, and then here's the 10 of clubs, the third one. And I kind of do something subtle, which is have the Ace of Spades, their selection, and the 10 of clubs side by side, so it kind of creates a more casualness to it. They can see both cards. There you go. And you can even use this 10 of clubs as cover for the bottom area. But anyways, you show this and you're like, yeah, it's really a second from the bottom, and you'll go, oh wow, cool, he found our card. And from there, people drop their guard because they're like, if once you found your card, the trick must be over. That's in general person's mind. You select a card, you're like you must be a magician. A magician must have a card selected, and then they find it. But in this effect, because it's different, they don't know where to go from here. So it's kind of fun. They think the trick is over because I found it, second from bottom. I told them what it is. So now it's just fun from here on out. Okay, so then I pulled the 10 of clubs back on top of the Ace of Spades. I still got to break underneath the Ace of Spades, separating between the other 3 aces. And then as I add the Ace of Spades and the 10 of clubs, the 2 card packet, to the top of the deck, as I take this 3-card pack of the aces, which I've always had, and then I tap again alongside, and then spread them out as I lay them across the table. And so that's just a fun sequence, because now they think, okay, tricks must be over, he found it, and now he's just laying it out. So again, I'll do it in much faster motion. Okay, break under 3 cards. 3 of clubs, your ace of spades, and the 10 of clubs. See, told you. I know it was there anyways. And when I mention it to them, I'm looking up at them, I'm misdirecting for the fact that I laid them out and I switched it out, so now the ace of spades is on top of this packet, which is very, very nice. So, and I go, yeah, see, it's just like that easy, and to find your card. And I gesture loosely like this, so it's like I'm being casual and confirming that, yeah, the card was there, whatever, you know, but clear as day. And then I would misdirect the audience's not physical attention, but mental attention by saying to them, but, you know, a magician would never be that obvious. They try to be more subtle about it. And you're in the perfect position to turn the pack over and just do a jog shuffle. And shuffle off 1 card to the side, so you got a break, you know, in jog it, 1 card, shuffle off everything else. And I just do a casual mix, okay? And then throw the stack on top, so you got the ace of spades. Now, you don't want to show the other 3 cards, or the other 2 cards you had shown previously, so I do the next sequence. They would want to be more sneaky about it, is how I'm presenting it. They would want to be more sneaky about it as they do it. So during that sequence, I'm actually doing a slip cut. I try to be subtle about it. You can do it however you want. You can do a slip cut and drop the lower packet there. And then, because you're just trying to slip this packet away from those other 2 cards you had seen previously, otherwise it'll seem redundant and people will say, hey, what's going on here? I thought those were over there. So we slip cut off the top card onto the other packet as you drop this packet there and there. Or in my case, where I love to be fun, I slip cut off the packet as I turn this packet up, turn it over, and turn to a Charlier where I do this mix, if you want to be flourishy about it. So again, if I'm to do that flourishy thing, slip cut off the packet, I turn this packet up, like doing a Stuart Gordon double lift, turn it over, got in perfect position for a Charlier. But again, in case you don't want to do that, you can just slip cut off the packet and do that. Okay? And I say, yeah, but the magician will not be that obvious. And I do this when I look at the cards. So yeah, the magicians won't be that obvious, you know? And so that's how you would get about that, retain that ace of spades. Now, we're going to do the triple, it's a triple lift, triple change sequence. I've never seen anyone publish it before. And I've been putting out material with it, so it's just a really cool triple change. I've never seen anywhere before, so let's enjoy the sequence. Push off a couple cards, you say, yeah, and they would misdirect, as I did in performance. They would misdirect by showing a couple cards, so they would show a couple cards, and then we would get a break underneath an indifferent card. So we'd push off 3 cards, get a break underneath this card, because this could be the cover card. Square everything up, these 3 cards, and turn the 3 cards up as 1. And you can be obvious about it. You don't even need to be subtle about it in this case. It's like no one almost even cares about this section, because they already think trick is over, card is right here. We've stated, and that's in their minds. And so going over here, like, well, what's he doing? Like, they're kind of caring, but not totally. If I moved any cards over here, then they would care. And if you want, you can even throw the cards over there saying, yeah, it's trick's done, whatever, if you want. Anyways, so push off 3 cards, square it, the 3 cards is 1. We got a break underneath the 4th card, which will be the cover card. I turn the 3 cards up. 4 hearts. I swear, this card is popping up everywhere. It's scaring me. So I'd say, hey, so your card's not the 4 hearts, right? And then we go, no. And if they don't say no, then you can say no. No, it's obviously not. And I keep tongue-tied. I would take this 4 cards. There's 3 cards, a triple lift with the 1 card underneath. I'd leave it over for a second, thumb putting pressure on it so it doesn't split off or do something like this. We don't want to break apart. And I would say, yeah. And they would and I would just do it to readjust so my hand can recover. Like, give the shade needed. So in case there was any flash, you wouldn't have to worry. And you wouldn't want to tilt your hand here. I'm not normally sitting, so I'm mostly standing, so it's a little bit awkward for me, but normally I would tilt it or naturally be tilted so that you wouldn't see the flash of this card. Okay, so there, and then I would reposition so I can do a side steal. Okay, and I'm side stealing off all the cards below the 4 hearts, which is 2 face-up cards and 1 face-down cover card. Okay, so it would look like this in action, and I covered it in a previous video on the side steal. So pull it back onto here as your hand covers it underneath, and these fingers, the fingers below, second and third, push the other cards into the hand and they grip it palmy style. Thumb covers. You wouldn't want to do any flash prematurely, so thumb covers. And then you can leave it here for a second if you want, but I just tend to come on over and do the wave. Boom. And that is cool, so you get that change. So again, we have the 4 card break. Hand comes over, and then I give it a wave. Boom. And I go up, down, or twice, or whatever. You get the idea. And then from there, they say, okay, I give it a color change. And is this your card? And they go, no. And I go, I get it. It must have been over there. And so you turn the double down, and you can even gesture with the card. Oh, it must have been over there. Turn this deck over so you're cleaning up right there. And you go, well, what was the name of your card? You can actually name it. And we already know. They announce it. They say, Ace of Spades. And you flick the card, and you go, that is correct. And then they start freaking out. Wait, what? Because it seems like you were being an insider showing them how to do the trick. In the end, you amazed them. Like, from where they thought it was over, it re-happened, and people are freaking out, which is amazing for them. And then they go to turn this over, and it's the other 3 aces we had set aside, getting a 4 of a kind, which is what a magician always wanted since the beginning for this effect. You get a 4 of a kind from 1 trick since the very beginning, and you're left in a pretty amazing state, which is a great trick to get 4 aces out of nowhere. Wonderful. Wow. Professional card trick. One thing I should mention is you're left in a slightly dirty manner, which is 3rd card, because of all the triple color change sequence, 3rd card from the top will be face up out of nowhere. So if they ask to examine the cards, just do a quick cam move. So push off 2 cards, covering where you can, slightly tilting up at like a diagonal angle, and just correct that card, that 4 of hearts. Maybe do a cut towards the center, and then you can hand it out. So that's just the cleanup work, because there will be 1 card face up 3rd from the top. So again, tilt it diagonally, do a cam move. A cam move is where you use the card, sweep it towards the edge. I believe this is Marlowe's cam move. I believe. I've seen all those Perlman do it. Anyways, we tilt it over. It's like a paintbrush change almost. And then these fingers, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, just pop it down as we square everything underneath. It's not the cleanest move. Usually it's to turn cards face up or face down, but it's just a quick cleanup so you can be able to fix the cards, and so they can be examinable after the whole trick. And then what they got to look at, nothing, because the tricks are already over. They got nothing. The aces are there. There you go. And I don't even see why they would want to examine the cards anyways, because all the magic was right here since the beginning. Who knows? I guess I'm just running without being chased. That said, this is an amazing trick. I hope all of you enjoy it. May or may not fool magicians. I don't know. I'd put it maybe may fool magicians. But that said, I hope you get a lot of mileage out of this. I'm currently using this as one of my top 15, 16 favorite pieces of all time. If I'm in a bind, I'm going to be using this effect. Especially because it worked for walk around. Like, you could use a person's hands at a table for that brief moment where you set the cards aside, and they just leave their hand right there. And so they stay for the involvement and interaction. It's a great interactive trick. I can't recommend it more highly. Outside my bias of having created it. So with that said, wishing you a wonderful day. Leave a like if you can for the Academy, and see you in the next video.